Thanks for downloading the Swearing In Podcast, where you'll hear the origin stories of those who chose to serve. So ground your gear, take a seat, and listen up. The Swearing In Podcast starts right now. Hello and welcome once again to the Swearing In Podcast. I am your host, Marty Smith. Today, I talked to former Army Sergeant Kyle Smith. He was a 25 uniform, which is a signal support systems specialist. He tells me about growing up with Marine parents, working at Cookout Restaurant, and navigating military recruiters. We then discuss how he got his MOS and share some stories about Airborne School. So that's a little background on Kyle. Now let's get on with the interview. All right, today I'm sitting with Kyle Smith, former sergeant in the United States Army, former 11 Bravo. Well, it was Bravo, right?
Nope, I was actually a 25 uniform.
All right, so tell me, where'd you grow up? What led you to your service?
Honestly, I grew up all on the East Coast. My dad was Marine. My mom was Marine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we traveled a lot. I mean, I'm born from Virginia, but I've been to North Carolina. I've been to Okinawa. I've been to New Jersey, Maryland for a little bit. Yeah, all East Coast.
Where was the longest? What was the longest time you spent? Do you remember? In one place.
North Carolina for sure. Combined, I think maybe 13 years.
Okay. Oh, coming back there and going away and coming back, that kind of thing.
Yeah, luckily we didn't go to California, but
what's is it? Well, I'm going to screw it up because I'm still learning Marine stuff. Is it 29 Palms out in California?
Yeah, 29 Palms.
And then what's it in North Carolina?
Camp Lejeune, or I should say Lejeune now.
What?
Yeah, they emphasize Lejeune. Apparently there's an R in there that no one knows about.
I never knew there was an R in Lejeune, which is what I grew up calling it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Okay, so what were you doing before you got in?
Let's see. I did college, tried that out.
I
went to Appalachian State for a year and a half.
Okay.
Really wasn't for me. I'm one of those guys that I have to go out there and do it. I just can't sit in a class anymore and just learn.
Especially after 12 years going all the way to high school and then more books.
All that pressure.
Yeah. Well, you gave it a shot, right?
I did. And then a family occurrence happened. I found out probably after my first semester, I was going to have another set of brothers coming my way. They're 9 today. So.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh yeah.
That's great. Wow. Not then, but it's great now, I suppose, right?
Yeah. And I was trying to relieve the burden off my parents. So I got a job at Cookout. I don't know if you heard of it.
No. Tell me about it.
Awesome fast food chain on the west or the East Coast, I should say.
It's called Cookout?
Called Cookout.
Oh, what they serve? Barbecue?
Really anything. You get a barbecue sandwich, a spicy chicken fillet, a double burger, corn dogs, quesadillas.
No, I never heard of it.
Tex-Mex quesadillas.
Yeah. Oh, spicy.
Oh yeah. but it was like $5 for a tray, and you get one main item, 2 sides, and like 10, like up to 10 different ingredients on a shake for an extra $1. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, very nice.
Worked way too hard there. Didn't go to any of my classes because I just saw the money coming in.
Sure.
Being a college student, I'm just like, okay, I like this. But then after like a year, I went back down to my parents' house to figure myself out.
Oh, okay.
It was definitely a turn, but good news is my parents actually let me fail and let me myself get out of it.
That's unusual, you know.
Yeah, being a Marine, being Marine parents.
I mean, it's totally in line with them, but it's not totally in line with like normal parenting, right? I mean, because nowadays they'd be like, "Oh, let's help you out. Let's do something," or either that or like, "Get out."
Yeah. Well, so. I paid rent too. Like I didn't freeload because I felt bad myself living with them. I just transferred to the Cookout in my city.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I was just until I could figure out exactly what I wanted to do in life, because I had no clue at that point. And it was like
More
maybe
like
20.
you knew what you didn't want to do
Yeah,
than
I
what you
didn't want
did
to sit in
want
the
to do.
class anymore.
Right. All right. So push has come to shove, I'm sure, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're gonna go, okay, about time to decide, right?
Oh yeah. They put a little pressure on, but then I finally went up to my dad and I was just like, I'm thinking of becoming a Marine.
Yeah.
And he was like, don't be a Marine.
Did he really?
Yeah. And I was like, I was shocked. I was like super shocked at first. And I was like, are you thinking I wouldn't be a good Marine? Like,
Yeah, that's a
I
natural
mean,
reaction. Sure.
yeah, it was like he served 23 years, chief officer 3, climbed up the
Wow.
ladder. Yeah.
Wow.
He was in some hard he was in the beginning of Iraq invasion and Fallujah.
And you're talking Desert Storm, right? Desert Storm, right? Or are
I
you
think
talking
right after he joined, I think it was in 87ish maybe he
yeah,
joined, I
yeah,
think.
that was the time. Yeah.
But I know he was in the hard stuff after 9/11, because
Yeah.
that was an interesting day in itself.
Oh God, yeah, that's right. You did tell me that you got a whole family full of stories here. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
you have to send this podcast over to your dad and hook me up and let me talk to your dad and your mom.
Oh yeah,
That'd be
I think
something.
she, if I remember correctly, she was an MP, so I'd watch out. She calls you out on your BS.
Fair enough. I'll be like, hey, ma'am, I don't know anything about the Marines, so tell me, so teach me, right? Okay, so what are they saying to you?
Well, after I asked, I was like, why I wouldn't make a good Marine or something. He was like, no, you would make a fantastic Marine. That's not
Makes-
the issue. The issue here is you're smarter than that, and
Oh,
the Marine Corps, unless like you get the job that you want, which is extremely hard,
really?
you are either going to be a security guard, a corrections officer, or you're going to go career. And that's not what I want for you.
Oh,
And I'm like, okay.
that's really good advice.
It was, because he was struggling too, man. Like he was he worked in the motor pool,
Yeah.
but it was so hard after he got out to get a job that
Oh,
paid
yeah,
well
sure.
for a huge family.
Sure, sure. Yeah, a lot of those skills don't translate over to the civilian sector. I joke with somebody else, when I got out of the Army, one of the jobs I actually looked at in Colorado was the avalanche guys, when they go up there with the cannon and they shoot those things up there. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
hey, maybe they'll take me.
I just saw a video on that too, and I was like, that's actually really cool. Just light a TNT, just throw it at the
Yeah.
chopper to screw it, see what happens.
But that was about the only job that had any skills that I translated to. So father has some good advice there. So
Yeah, I definitely took that in consideration. Then literally the next day, I just went shopping pretty much for to see who I wanted to go for.
oh yeah, you just went down and visited Recruiter Row or what?
Yeah, pretty much it was it was just one plaza. There's one
Yeah,
store for them, and they were
yeah.
all in there.
Just say, hey, make your best pitch. Tell
Oh
me what
yeah,
you can
and
give me.
make your best pitch. And I went to school to be a nurse.
Okay.
I wanted to help people out. I wanted to
Yeah.
do all this stuff. So I was like, okay, what can translate? Corpsman,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes
So I
sense.
went into the Navy. I don't want to bash on them. I'm for the recruiters, but
We can
they
we can all bash on recruiters, no matter what service. So that's okay as long as you don't bash on the Navy, but you can bash on the recruiters.
yeah,
That's easy.
they did not care about anybody in the world. They're like, well, we got a long list of people here that want to be a corpsman too. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just wanting to put my name out there. If you're interested, let me know. Like, I'm not going to beg you to be a corpsman.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a little bit more dignity. And then
At
then
least
I
you
went to
didn't
the Air
fall.
Force.
At least you didn't fall for the recruiting trick, right? Because they all do those
Oh
tricks.
yeah.
And they're like, hey,
Oh
you gotta shove some people into the cops, man. You can't take any more corpsmen. And they give you that spiel, but so many guys, and
Mhm.
you've run into them too, right? So many
Oh
guys
yeah,
get
plenty.
suckered by those guys, and they're like, how'd you end up being a infantry guy? Oh, because they told me nothing else was available. They'll lie to them. They'll lie to them.
Oh yeah,
So
they're paying for me to go to the MEPS station, and I was just
that's
like,
right.
okay, so
That's
you
right.
guys are wasting your own money. Might as well, just give me what I want.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so Navy was a big no, I guess, after that.
Oh yeah, they didn't even call me call me back until
They must have been doing
four.
okay that month. That's why they didn't need you. So,
They must have until they got the ASVAB score like 4 months later.
oh,
They're just
nice.
like, oh, ooh. Oh yeah, I got a 74, and that's two
Oh,
years with no college. I'm just like, that's
yeah,
not bad.
that's pretty good off the street. That's pretty good.
But any job I wanted,
Yeah.
pr- pretty much could have been mine. But I had a little drinking incident when I was underage, so
Who
they
doesn't,
kind of
right?
just like, yeah, of course, you're in college.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just got a wrong place, wrong time for
Oh
me on
yeah.
that one.
It always is. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I was cuffed at a Jimmy Buffett concert. So what does that tell you? It's dumb. It's so dumb.
I mean, it's Jimmy Buffett. I wouldn't
I
be surprised either.
know.
But then I went to the Air Force. I wanted to be a PJ. I
Oh
saw
yeah.
that. You remember that cool commercial where it's like two guys are just jumping out of like a
It was like the
C-17?
only cool commercial they had.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I
only
remember
cool
that.
Air Force. I was like, I
Yeah.
want to do that.
Yeah,
I just
that
want
was
to get out
very
there and
cool.
get it.
Absolutely.
And he was like, "Oh, sweet man, you could like you fit the description very nicely. Drinking ticket."
Oh, you're
Didn't
kidding.
didn't matter. He was just like, "I'm sorry, man." I was like, "Well, that was like
Oh,
3 years ago. I've been clean ever since. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
guaranteed. I didn't shave. I haven't had a haircut in months, so I kind of look like a bum. But you know, I was like, come on, man. I'm literally I want to do this. And he's
Yeah.
like, no. And I was like, okay, screw you. I'll go to the Army. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Then they tried to pull that recruiter stunt on me with we can be you can be an 11 something, an 11 series. You
Oh, the Army
get
did?
yeah, you like got weapons master, you got all this, and I was like, no, I'm not going to fall for that. I
Yeah.
know you guys got a quota,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that's not going to happen with me. And they're like, okay, well, when you get the MEPS, let me know. And I'm like, okay. Uh, then I went to the Marine Corps, and they judged me instantly off looks, like still looking like a hot bum.
Well, what the hell they want? They want somebody already high and tight coming into the door?
Oh
That's crazy.
yeah, apparently, because they sat me down. It's like, do you do drugs? And I'm like, that's the first question you're going to ask me. Do I do drugs? Let me tell you something, guys. 23 years, Chief Officer 3, Shawnee Smith, Marine Corps. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
What makes you think I'm going to be doing drugs with
Right.
that kind of resume right there? And they're like, is that your dad? I was like, you're damn right. That's my dad. And just because of this, I'm walking out. You guys don't deserve me. Like, I did this just to see what I would experience. And you guys just instantly asked me if I was a pothead or,
It must have been. Navy and Marines must have been good to go that month. They didn't need anybody.
I mean, in Marine Town, man, when there's 3-4 things you could become after graduating high school: Marine, a bootlicker itself, them ladies, a stripper, or a tattoo artist.
They all feed off
I've
each
seen
other, so that's nice. Yeah.
they do. You have to get out of the town to actually like live your life.
Right, right.
If
So
I'm stuck there.
What town was this? What town are we talking about?
Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Jacksonville, North Carolina. What year was this?
Between the years of 2008 and 2010, my last
Okay.
2 years there.
Okay, so now you kind of walked out of all of them. So what made you turn around and go back to Big Green there?
They called me back instantly.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
it was like right after I walked out the Marine Corps office, I went to there's a nice little fast hibachi restaurant next door called Miyabi's.
Oh.
Grabbed a steak bowl, went back to my car, got a voicemail instantly.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I wanted them to wait a little bit longer, kind of like a first date, call back after 2 days.
Okay, fair.
And I was just like, hey guys, I'm really interested in talking to you. Like, we can talk more. And they wanted me to enroll me into the Future Soldier program where you work out with them like once or twice a week.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, kind of like the Marines do that thing too.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see those. Every once in a while, I'll go by Denver or Aurora, and I'll see a group out there, kind of doing some pseudo PT. And I don't know if that was part of it. That was years ago, but I don't know if that's still the same kind of thing they do. But I've heard that they kind of prep you going in or something like that.
Yeah, they want to prep you. Like you'll go death by skill soft, man. Like teach how to land nav and all that stuff just through a computer, and then you do maybe 3 PT sessions that
Oh
week.
yeah, yeah.
But I wasn't there long because I the initial PT test they gave me, like if you failed it,
Yeah.
they wanted you to do more PT with them.
Ugh.
But I passed it, and I was just I don't know how.
Really? Were you
I
were
haven't worked
you
out.
were you athlete? Were you keeping in shape or anything of that nature before you came over to them?
Oh yeah, I was lacrosse. Like I was at
Oh,
all.
okay.
I stopped playing football probably my sophomore year because
Yeah,
it just I knew I wasn't going to do it in college.
yeah, yeah.
But wrestling and lacrosse were my main sports. I actually played for it in Appalachian State a little bit.
Really? What'd you wrestle at?
145.
Oh, you didn't have to cut anyway.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, I was 152, but I was in that in between stage
Yeah,
where like 1 or 2 pounds, it didn't even matter.
but that's not so bad. It's not like 15, 20 pounds like some of those collegiate guys do. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, God, that's the brute sector. But I wasn't
Yeah.
half bad.
So, Army PT test wasn't too bad. I mean, I don't know how much you ran. I mean, that's long distance running. I never really long distance ran until I got into the Army, and I was like, oh, shit.
Oh yeah. Like after high school, after graduating in 2010, I tried to keep up appearances, for the college.
Sure.
No, cookout just got the best of me because I was the fry guy mostly.
Oh, nice.
I would sample, quote unquote, sample the products.
Well, you're not going to put something bad out there, and you got to have some personal experience, right?
Exactly. My manager would yell at me, and I'm like, "What do you want? I'm testing out my product."
Okay, so you passed their initial thing. Then what? They sent you the MEPS, or?
Yeah. So after I'd say roughly a month of just getting the paperwork and everything started, going through what it's going to be like at MEPS and if there's any issues that I need to report. And then they brought me to Raleigh, which was like an hour and a half long bus ride
Oh,
to the Hilton. Spent like 2 days there.
you're kidding.
Yeah.
That was the nearest MEPS station?
Yep.
Oh my God. Huh. Okay.
I actually got lucky. There's someone that like got a bus ride for 4 hours. I was like,
jeez. Before we go any further, what'd your parents think about going in the Army?
Well, they asked me, they were like, what are you trying to do in the Army? Like, what's your job? And I was like, honestly, I haven't thought about it. Like, I have this whole list, and no one has told me yet that I'm not going to, like, 90% of this list is going to decrease instantly because of that drinking ticket. No one told me.
Oh, okay. So you assumed that all those MOSs you were good to go for. If you just had to choose.
I was looking into I really wanted to do maybe like hacking or something worthwhile. I was really good into tech. I was really always interested in tech, and I'm like, okay, let's look at these cool jobs. Intel, okay, possibly.
It's not bad.
Yeah, and I looked at Signal. Like, obviously, I took out I crossed out on my list petroleum fuel specialist.
Yeah,
I'm like, so someone
POL. Oh my God, POL. Who wants to go do that?
Yeah, and then I was like, I'm not going to do pilot school because I don't got 2020, and they probably don't want me on that.
Right.
I've watched a lot of Top Gun. I know, I know what I can do.
And they changed that requirement, right? Because there was very few actually guys who were going into aviation. It was so populated with chiefs, right? There was all warrants at that point. There was a few other guys, but then even the enlisted guys, I mean, maintenance and stuff like that. There's not that many jobs, really.
No, honestly. And then there's like maybe side gunner for like
right,
the birds, and I'm just like, that'd be cool, but no. Can't do that.
that'd be fun for about 6 months, and you'd be like, okay, I'm definitely not getting a civilian job after being a door gunner.
Now, unless I'm private sector.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Blackwater will take you.
But overall, my goal was just it's what every parent wants: be better than your dad.
Yeah, sure. Right, right.
Do better than him.
Well, you had that competition then. I sense in you, right? I mean,
Always.
you were competitive. You played some sports, but was there a period of time like you and your dad, did you compete against each other? Did you wrestle? Did you kind of that kind of thing? And there was a period of time where you're like, oh shit, he's too big now to dominate anymore.
Oh, I know the exact day for that too.
Really? Okay.
It was my sophomore year. We were in New Jersey at the time,
Yeah.
and I started wrestling in middle school.
Okay.
And turns out I wasn't too bad. I got third place in the county, which was the highest tournament, end of year tournament.
Yeah.
My 7th grade year, then I got first place. I come to New Jersey from North Carolina, and not knowing New Jersey is like a heavy wrestling state.
Was it really? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, like everybody, I still watch the NCAA tournament every year. Penn State, Iowa, most of those dudes come from New Jersey.
I had no idea. I thought most of those guys were from Midwest.
Like I mean, Ohio's a really good wrestling program too, and Ohio State, but I'm never going to say go Bucks. My dad's an Ohio State fan. Or Buckeyes.
On a side note, one of the things that kind of pisses me off is that when they've pared down the Olympics coverage in over the last 4 or 5 Olympics, maybe 3 or 4, but they don't show any Greco, they don't show any of the freestyle. I love watching this stuff. That's great stuff. I mean, I wrestled for a year, and they're like, "Hey, you'd be good if you knew what you were doing." I was like, "I don't know what I'm doing," and then dropping weight, I was like, I forget it. I'm going to football. So, but the sport of it, your balance, how you can control your body, how you can control somebody else's body is fascinating. It's fantastic. It's a great sport.
Oh yeah, I love the individuality, because when it's just
all you
out there.
That's right.
It's all you. Yeah, it's a team sport as well, but at the end of the year, it's kind of more leaning solo.
When you got one shoulder down, there ain't no team helping you.
Oh yeah, and this was I hit my freshman year. I hit that growth spurt because I was 119 my 8th grade year. I was a twin.
Oh my god!
And then I hit that 140. I hit that 145 category, and I'm like, oh,
look at this.
Yeah, look at this. Let's see what it can do. I get my ass kicked the whole freshman
moving
year.
up. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Like no. I varsity'd my freshman year because for my weight class.
Yeah.
And I was just getting stomped I'm like, oh my God, North Carolina is so different or New Jersey is so different from Carolina's. And
wow.
I definitely, for the 2 seasons, I got my ass whooped. Oh yeah, my coach saw something in me, and he wanted me to do summer courses or summer camps with him individually. Yeah. So because he saw the potential, but that year he got fired as well for
shit.
I can't even remember what, but he was just let go.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh God. So then my sophomore year though is the day I found out I could beat my dad without him using pressure points. He liked to sneak attack.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, we would sneak attack each other in the house.
Yeah.
And he gets me down, and then I pull the switch on him, and I get him so good, his shoulder goes down hard on the tile floor, and I get him, and I'm like, ooh, and my mom was like, oh my God, you just got your ass whooped. And my dad's like, I didn't use pressure points. I was like, I know, because you can't beat me without them, old man. And so from that day on, he uses pressure points.
So they ship you to Raleigh. Now you're in Raleigh in the MEPS, right?
Yes.
Still haven't decided on MLS.
Not at all. I'm going in there the night before. I check in and everything. I go to my room, get some food and stuff with a group of cadets or future, soldiers.
Yeah.
And we're all talking. We're just there's some guys that just want to be infantry. Somebody, wants to be a corpsman.
Yeah.
They asked me, and I'm just like, I'm just going to see what happens when I get there. Like I just wing it, see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the day finally comes, still no idea. Couldn't even sleep. I'm just like, this is going to make or break me. Like,
Yeah, sure.
this one choice is going to ruin or be good for my whole career.
Well, sure. And at the time, you had no sense of retraining or anything like that. You're just like,
not at all.
Hey, this is my decision. Right? Here we go.
Oh yeah. And so I'm just, sitting there getting examined. I'm just like patiently waiting, it takes forever.
Yeah.
And finally my name's called and I'm like, shit, I have no idea what I want to do.
Oh, you had to go up and tell them your choice?
Yeah, we could we got brought to whoever whatever branch we wanted to do, and we got sat down with them and they talked to us about what we wanted to do exactly.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, he's typing, we're having a all right communication. He's not feeling it today. Okay. And he's like, wow, you scored pretty good on the ASVAB. You're going to have a lot of good jobs. And I'm like, sweet, that's what I like to hear.
Right.
Then he hits that enter button.
Oh.
I get 14 potential jobs. None of them are good.
Oh.
And I'm like, what just happened? Like the whole screen just went blank except for like 14 jobs.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you have a drinking ticket when you're
18. Oh no.
And I'm like, yeah, when I was 18, I'm 21, 22 at this time. And I'm like, come on, like the Army isn't supposed to look, that far back.
Hey, the Army Army was go to war or go to jail, right? That was famous for the Army. They'll take you.
They're like, we want to help you.
Yeah.
But we're going to look so far into your past, even though you've probably been a changed man for the last couple of years, but you're within that 5-year range, and we're just going to.
Oh man, at least the other services were up front at the recruiting office.
Yeah, at least
these guys suckered you all the way to Raleigh before they go. Oh, sorry about that.
Oh yeah, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm not taking any of these jobs.
Yeah,
because they're like, well, the best one you can get is a weapons specialist, 11 series, and I'm like, my ASVAB score. With all due respect, I am not doing any of it.
Right. Good.
And I'm seeing generator repairman, fuel specialist, 11 series. Nothing that will catch my eye. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need some time to think about this. I call my dad instantly, and I'm like, hey, they're kind of my drinking ticket's coming to haunt me. And he's just like, oh God, that's what you get for being an idiot, kind of the dad response.
Yeah, sure.
And I was like, so what do you think I should do? He's like, don't commit to anything till you get what you want.
Yeah, you hadn't signed anything at this point, right?
No, haven't signed anything. Just got my physical checked out, got he's 100% healthy to do this.
Got a bus ride and a hotel room.
Yeah, but a nice hotel too.
Yeah, you're good.
So I was like, okay, I will I'll be back.
Oh, nice.
So, and I
good
left
for you.
The recruiters called me instantly and was just like, why aren't you signing anything? And I was like, because he's not giving me the job I'm wanting.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you're going to have to compromise. I was like, there's no compromising until I sign. Like, you guys need to work for me, not just me work for you. This is a two-way street. So, one of them comes to get me, very disappointed. Like, I'm like, I don't care. Not my dad. I'm just...
Sorry, I'm just a number to you anyway. So sorry.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not a number. I'm going to do this right. And so I'm even like, I wait maybe another 2 weeks for the next MEPS train to come.
Okay.
And I'm texting my cousin who was in the Army as well. Like, I'm getting everybody's input. And she's just like, yeah, like 68 whiskey. If you want it, get it. You can do it. Like, they shouldn't penalize you.
That's the medic, right? 68 whiskey.
That's the Army medic.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about that route too.
Yeah.
And she was a 68 whiskey, and I think she did Desert Storm in a little bit of Iraq. Maybe I'm not 100% sure, but
it's pretty bad. That's a good MOS actually. They do them well, I think.
Oh yeah, they definitely her husband is actually a colonel in the Army currently. He's a nurse practitioner.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
And when I had somebody talk me through, what's it called? What's the medical badge? Is it MIB? Is that what they go for? That big, it's like a CIB, but it's the medical.
Yeah, it's like you get like combat scenario thing, or
it's pretty badass from what I understand.
From what I understand, yeah, because you have to like a 12-mile rug and like carry someone or a doll or drag them. Like that's respect right there.
Yeah, you might not be shooting something, but you got to stick somebody with an IV, and I'm like, oh shit, you better be accurate.
Oh yeah, but so I'm like, okay, I think I have an idea of what I want for this mess.
Okay.
So I'm not even thinking about my job. I'm thinking about like me. They're going to be there for me. They're not going to be there for a number. Like I'm not,
true. That's true.
They're going to treat me a little bit better.
Right.
So the next day comes, or the next Mets comes. I'm sitting there again. They call me. They're like, okay, what are we going to do? And I'm like, well, when you give me a better job, we're gonna figure this out.
So this was like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, 2 weeks to a month. I think they did it like 2 times a month.
Oh, okay.
For MEPS, but so we're sitting there, and he's like, "Well, what do you want?" And I was like, "Anything but that."
Yeah,
that list that you have up there.
Yeah, anything but that's 14 choices. Scratch them and let's start again.
So, yeah, and so he's like telling me all this. Like we talked for like 2-3 hours. Like we were in there, like getting it. I was not going to leave it without getting a job.
Yeah.
And he was telling me about, well, we're here for you, and I was like, then prove it. Like you're going off a drinking ticket that happened 3.5 years ago,
right?
And I've been clean ever since, and it was underage. I blew a .02. You're making it look like I was drunk driving.
Yeah, that's like DWAI.
Just because I was underage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they put me for a DUI. I didn't blow the legal, and I wasn't even driving.
Oh shit!
But yeah. So I get there. He finally was like, you know what? Let's see what we can do.
Okay.
And I couldn't get all the the fancy jobs like a linguistics, and all that stuff. I was like, I don't need that. That's just too much time.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I got this 25 series job. And I was like, what's 25 series? And he said it was communications.
Oh, okay. Signal Corps.
Yeah, Signal Corps. And I was just like, okay. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, what's this job called? And he was like, Signal Support System Specialist.
Oh, that sounds fancy.
I was like, yeah, that's exactly my thought process. I was like, that sounds pretty fancy. What does it entail? And he was just like, you're pretty much, you ever hear of the jack of all trades, master of none? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're pretty much going to be doing everything in the Signal Corps, networking, radios. You're going to specialize in those aspects.
Okay.
And I was just like, you know what? Deal.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Give me that job.
Did he say? I don't know what I don't know what the definite or the dividing line between signal and satcom is. I think satcom's a little bit different, but I think it falls in the bucket though, doesn't it?
It could. There's a lot. Like I was like my title was a 25U, and I'm pretty sure they had like 25 Foxes, 25.
Oh yeah, sure, all the shred outs. Yeah,
all that. I think 25 Bravo was like the satcom networking portion of it.
Oh yeah, but you were a 25 uniform.
Yep.
Whoa, there's another one I never heard of. 25 uniform. Holy shit.
He was like, the U stands for universal because you're going to be universally everywhere in the signal world.
Okay. It's creative. That's nice. That's good.
But yeah, so I was just like, deal, it's signed. Get the signature, swear in. Sadly, none of my parents can make it, but they do it all impromptu in civilians and all that stuff.
Were you you just at the recruiter, or were you back at Raleigh at that point?
Oh, I was back at Raleigh. Like I had to go back to Raleigh again that whole time and do.
Oh yeah.
Luckily, I didn't have to do the medical crap again, but
yeah. So you go to basic and AIT there. God, you never left. That sucks.
Yep, I went to basic in Benning and then Augusta, Fort Gordon, Georgia
Oh
for
yeah, comm guys. Yeah,
AIT.
that's right.
Yep.
That's right. The home of the comm.
Sorry, I went to Benning back because I went to Benning for jump school and then RAS and pre-RAS was in Benning. So
Right.
I
Right.
was stuck there for a good bit.
So wait, you went to basic and then you go to AIT at Gordon, right? Did
Yes.
you go out to a unit and then how did Ranger come about for you?
Honestly, this was all throughout basic. Like I had never heard of a Ranger.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So I've never heard of what a Ranger was. I knew, Delta Force from watching the Chuck Norris movies. I
Yeah,
knew
of course.
SF.
Yeah.
Everybody in basic called me dad because I was like 20, 22, 23 years old.
Oh, these guys are
Everybody
18.
there,
Yeah.
yeah, they were
Yeah.
17, 18. The oldest guy, I was not the oldest. The oldest guy there was like 42.
Whoa.
And he was granddad, but he was like one of those muscular, like I go to the gym 8 hours a day kind of
Oh,
guy.
yeah, he's got the genes too. He can still run. His knees
Yeah.
aren't shot.
Yeah. Perfect, like perfectly nice dude. You wouldn't
Yeah.
expect it. But
Yeah.
so he was granddad and I was dad.
Oh my God. That's good. That's good.
And I was the only my platoon, it wasn't 11 Bravo series because they weren't like, I've never heard of a gym in my life kind of person.
Yeah.
So these guys were definitely something to watch.
Okay.
So I'm me and granddad and I were just getting 300 the perfect PT scores. We
Yeah.
were like A class runners. Like I
Oh,
think
okay.
I was able to get my mile time down to like a 5:10 mile.
Jeez.
Yeah, it
Jeez.
was.
Did they have extended scale? Did they let you guys go into extended scale at that time?
They did it for fun. It was like,
Yeah.
who's actually the fittest person, like
Oh
who's the
yeah.
better platoon kind of competitions,
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think my fitness like extended scale was like at a 345-ish at that time.
Very good.
I couldn't get 100 on. I had a hard time with sit-ups that entire time.
Yeah. Well,
But
it's
my drill
genetics,
sergeant.
man. It's some guys can do it and some guys can't. And plus the more
Oh
energy
yeah,
you expend on that, it just jacks your run because it takes that half mile to really work that out, that kind of thing.
oh yeah. The entire time he was like, "There's this club I have called the 500 Club," and we're all like, "Okay, what's this?"
Oh God.
And he's like, "You do 500 push-ups, 500 sit-ups every day until end." And I'm like, "Oh damn, I don't think I could do that."
No.
Did it anyway.
Did you?
Took all day. But luckily I finally got that 300. They didn't mess with me as much because coming from the Marine family, it's just like,
how are we going to smoke this guy? Yeah.
How are we going to smoke this guy? Like they give you shit. They wait for a response. Like it's like they want you to say something, but if it's the right thing, they won't mess with you.
Yeah, fair.
Apparently, it was the right thing for me most of the
time. That's good. So you're going through again. So you're progressing through basic, and I assume all this stuff is at basic, right? Because when you go to AIT, so let's go through that. Let's go. You get through AIT, you get certified as your 25 uniform MOS, right? So February hits. What are you doing in February? Was that jump school or was that?
That was jump school.
Okay.
I think right February 1st or February 2nd, I officially got my orders. And within 8 days, I was heading back to Fort Benning, Georgia.
Oh, God.
It was fun.
I like jump school. Jump school, I mean, that was the first real military I've been in with people yelling at me that I didn't know.
Yep.
And once you kind of get it set, you're like, okay, I know they're trying to mentally screw with me. I get it.
I'd say my favorite was just messing with the cadre in general, because we had this one. Our head cadre was a female soldier, our staff sergeant at the time.
They still call them black hats at that time? Were they still black hats?
Yeah, they definite black hats, but she had something to prove, like kind of mentality. She was never there for any of the training. And the one cadre I had, he would always make me demonstrate for some reason. I don't know. He just liked me, I guess. But he was like hyping up myself to the cadre, the black hat.
Oh.
And every time she was out there, she was just like, that was sloppy, do it again. And I'm like, oh shit, stop hyping me up, man. Like
she's coming down on you because of that.
Yeah. Like, I'll have a problem falling. I'll fall. I'll take the hit. I'll roll. Yeah. A lot of people were more scared of the zip line portion of it. And I'm like,
that was weird, wasn't it? I saw that too.
I was like, you're landing on pebbles with sand, mostly sand. Like,
yeah,
it's 4 feet off the ground. Are you scared? Really?
We had a guy in our class when he did that zip line portion. Every time he got down to the bottom, he threw up. And we're like, what's wrong with this guy? And so he did like 3 times in a row, threw up every time. Then they took him to the med, and they're like, oh, you got an inner ear problem. So when he moves laterally, it screws him all up. And he's throws up and he's dizzy and all that stuff because he can't move laterally. So weirdest medical condition I ever saw.
I think was it the 30-foot towers, the actual sims to get out the plane?
Yeah,
the zip lines. Those are probably my favorite of all. Like, I just jumped out.
That was fun. Yeah.
One kid was so scared. Like, they even demonstrated like what they'll do if you don't jump out of a plane.
Oh, really?
you know, doing the curb stomp, the Spartan kick at the time.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is going to happen to you. That just scared this kid even more, man. Like, I'm pretty sure he almost pissed himself. They made him the first, and this is just for the 30-foot tower.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're screwed, man, once that jump day comes.
My first jump, I got to stand in the door, right? So I was all excited, but I was totally terrified because you know, it's all rushing and you're standing there, you're trying to do your training. And, you know, green light goes, I hear go, I jump out, and I got down. After the jump I got with my buddies, I was like, hey, how'd I look jumping out the door? He's like, are you kidding? The drill sergeant kicked your ass out. I was like, I didn't even feel it. He goes, oh, no, you were going regardless.
Yeah, those reserve pilots they don't like it when you stay in the plane.
No, those guys they're wild, man.
Did you watch that 1970s porno Airborne jump school video, by the way? I have to ask,
I never saw that. No.
It's like, so you're sitting there, you're getting rigged up for your jump, and then they're on the projector. You just hear like this 1970s porno music like come on, and you're like, what is going on? They're showing this flick, and it's like, we're going to make you tough, so tough that when you hit the ground, it's your leg or it's the ground that hurts. And I'm like, the only thing that's missing is like every soldier's not wearing that scorpion medallion and looking like a Magnum PI.
That's right. No, I never heard that. That's awesome.
That was on a loop. Like, it was. We were waiting to get on the bird. We were just ready to get on the bird at that point.
That's great. I never heard that story before. That's fantastic.
It's all over Facebook too. If you want to look at it, it's ridiculous.
Okay. I will after this.
So we're getting rigged up, and this dude, he jumps first, and we have no idea who this guy is. Apparently, he got recycled because he got hurt after his 4th jump. So he just needed that one to get the 5th.
Yeah.
And he makes the mistake of telling the cadre, hey, I'm scared of jumping.
What?
And this is our first jump.
After 4 jumps?
Yeah, he's still scared out of his mind. Nice young short guy.
Yeah.
And this is our first jump, and he was just he's like, all right, you're going to the front, you're going to demonstrate then.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I was in between 10, the first 10.
Okay.
Because I thought smart. I'm like, I don't want to be in the back of the plane because then I have to run all that way to the LZ.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
Top 10, just don't be number 1 on your first ride.
Yeah.
Got lucky. So green light goes. He gets the smack on the butt.
Yeah.
you're not supposed to jump up, right?
No, it's out. Right?
Yes, exactly. Out.
Yeah.
This guy jumps up. So the first
Oh.
thing on our first jump is you see his head hit the door jamb,
Oh.
his ass with his legs out the door, and him just getting sucked by the wind. And you hear him on the side of the plane hit, and you're just like, my God, man.
Really?
First
That was
jump.
supposed to be his last jump to qualify.
That was his last jump, and he set the standard pretty hard.
Oh my God.
And so you're not even thinking, you still have to go because he just jumped. So you're just
Yeah.
like, oh shit, oh shit.
That is
My
so
thoughts were
good.
just like, I was just like, kick out, kick out, kick out, don't
Right.
go up.
Right.
Perfect jump. Like I loved it. got a little spin,
Yeah.
do the swing set motion, got free. I just cruised.
I think my second jump, because the first one used to have in that LZ, used to have, about a 100-yard long. It used to be this hardball dirt pack road, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, don't hit there, don't hit. And I hit center, and I turned the wrong way from where I was drifting. So I went 1-4 right on my fucking ass. And then the rest of that week, my ass hurt. I mean, it was limping, but I was like, I'm not staying on this goddamn drop zone. I'm getting the hell off of this thing, right? But my second jump, a guy came down into my risers, but I was still kind of out of it, right? He was trying to do the right thing, but I looked at him and he spread eagle and bounced off my risers. And I was like, hey, he did that really well. That was really good. And the guy goes, slip, God damn it. And I was like, oh yeah, I should probably steer away from him because I was just watching him the whole time. And he's yelling at me. I was like, oh yeah, hey, thanks.
See, I think it was around my second jump when I realized the slip never works. Because
not really.
I was touching the parachute, and I was going for a puddle, and I was like, avoid this. Like it's like get away from this.
Yeah.
Nope, not at all.
Not really.
Okay. Like half my side was just covered. Some dude decided to bring a GoPro on his second jump.
Really?
And the cadre told us, don't take pictures, don't be stupid.
Yeah.
He went stupid, and he's like getting everything, making sure his parachute opened properly. I see him out of the corner of my eye, and he's getting his GoPro out of his top sleeve on his shoulder.
Oh no!
And he's like taking a selfie. All of a sudden, he just hits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and this was a full load too. So we,
equipment load. Yeah,
an equipment load. And I guess he just didn't take that into account because we did Hollywood the first jump.
Of course,
so,
yeah.
So he hits. Luckily, it was mud, but
oh God, yeah. I hated the one part I hated about that was the weapons carrier.
Oh yeah,
trying to release that at the right time. I was like, ugh, this thing sucks.
I hate to admit it, but I've never lowered.
Really?
I never lowered my combat.
How the hell
did
like really?
Yeah, I would get yelled at all the time, but they're like, why are you doing this? I was like, why would I create more work for myself? Like I unhooked everything. I just didn't lower the string.
Yeah.
So like I hit it. I had my knees by my squeezing my bag. So, I didn't collapse them.
Yeah.
And just two unhooks and I was up. I was good. But they hated me for that.
Yeah, that's smart. You're not following the rules. God damn it.
But my fourth jump, now that was an interesting jump because it was probably by far my softest landing I've ever had.
Oh.
And like I get there, it was like a graceful, like I could have probably stood up and been good instead of doing the PLF.
Yeah.
But I pack my chute up, everything's good, throw it around my shoulder, my knee like tweaks. And
just walking off?
Yeah, just walking off, and it like gets stiff. I can't bend it. I'm like,
oh no,
shit! Like
muscle through that, baby. Muscle.
I
through
did.
that, right?
Like I was walking. The cadre was like, "Why are you walking?" I was like, "Oh, just tweaked my knee a little bit. Sorry, no big deal." He's like, "Can you jump?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this fifth jump." He's like, "Then you better be running."
Oh no!
So I was like, "Shit!" So I'm like gimping the entire time. Throwing it off like Forrest Gump with his leg braces.
What's the matter, Airborne? You hurt? You hurt,
Airborne?
Those guys.
Oh, they demonstrated. Speaking of which, they demonstrated that like when you get dragged, you're supposed to jump on him.
Yeah.
The cadre that was getting dragged for the demo, like 15 cadre piled on him. Chipped his like I think they broke his nose and chipped his tooth accidentally. They were dicking around.
Yeah.
Like as the demonstration was, sitting through their, scripted thing, and you just see him jump on him, and he was hurt, and you could tell he was trying to hide it. Yeah, and the person reading the script was just like, that's what not to do when jumping onto your partner.
That's good. I remember walking off, carrying my chute, and I was coming by. They used to have that stand where the guy's at the bullhorn, he's yelling at you as you're coming down, right? And this guy was drugged, and I saw it. He was being drugged by the stand. And the guy's like, "What are you gonna do, Airborne? What are you gonna do?" As he's watching it, he's just yelling at him. And the guy's trying to get his release up here, but he can't just get it. And he keeps getting dragged right by the guy with the bullhorn. He's like, "What's the matter, Airborne? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?" The guy's like, "I'm trying to do it.
I remember also my fourth jump as well. I just got hurt. The bullhorn, you just hear the tower guy like, he's like, "Man, slip away." I look, I see someone from my squad, like a 6'4", 6'5", 200-pound, like he was a beast.
Yeah.
He hits the Humvee.
Oh, no.
The lower half of his body hits the Humvee as he's coming down, and he like face plants into the dirt. Helmet's gone. Like he stands up and he's like, "You all right, Airborne?" And he's like, "I jump out of plane." He's like, "But are you all right?" And that's all he can say for like 2 minutes. Like, "I jumped from plane." Pretty heavily concussed, obviously, at this point.
Right.
And he's the tower guy's just like, "Medics, come here, just come here." Dude can hardly stand up. Like he got drugged like maybe 25 feet too as well. They jumped on him, probably making it even worse.
Yeah.
But like he had to get recycled hard after that. And I'm like, damn, I have my own problems.
Yeah. I mean, just to make it through that 5, sometimes it gets a little dicey, right?
Yeah, I was just like, it's soft dirt. Like it's mound.
Well,
like,
true.
I shouldn't have a problem. Just don't PLF on that side.
Yeah.
I made sure that even if I was going that way.
You can make yourself drift, right? You can make yourself drift the right way if you're smart about it.
Oh, yeah. That was the overall. But I graduated. My cadre gave me, the blood wings, even though
they weren't supposed to. You had to come out of formation. You can't officially do it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he this is the cadre that was hyping me up the entire 3 weeks.
Oh, was he?
And he's just smiling at me, and as he's putting it on, I'm like, "Don't you do it?"
Yeah.
"Don't you do it?" He takes his hands off and then like goes for the slap, and I'm like, "Nice. Oh, you son of a bitch!"
Yeah, that was good. That's good. Man, that was a lot of fun talking with Kyle. Join us for part 2, where he tells us about being assigned to the 1st Ranger Battalion in Savannah, Georgia, as well as his deployments to Afghanistan. So until next time, on your feet, fall out!